Antonio, were you the gentleman that Sly called on his birthday, by any chance? He seems to be intimating that might be the case.
I think I ran into Sly on a parking lot.
That's right. He was the parking lot negotiation. It was Harrison on the phone.
You should come to be in. I don't want to play the bad guys.
Yeah.
I don't want to play the bad guys because they always die, and if there is a franchise, I am not going to be there.
Yeah, nobody wants to be the bad guy.
So he just called me later, and he says, okay, now I have a beautiful part for you. He's an angel. He's a wonderful guy, and he can just have a progression in future franchises. I mean, more movies and stuff like that. So he said, absolutely. And I'll be there with you, my friend. We became very good friends, actually, when we did Assassins years ago. And it was a great shooting, and ever since. We did work together. I realized last night, but we actually not together, but in one of the Spy Kids, number 3.
Stop already.
But, yeah.
Stop.
It was good, man. That was my franchise.
I know. I know. Oh
Action
my
Kids
God.
franchise.
Now it's getting really personal.
I'm going to bring Puss in Boots.
Kellan, what were your negotiations like with Sly?
This dates back to 2009 when the first Expendables came around, and there was a young Expendable in that one, and I auditioned. It was during the Twilight years, and for some reason, we were just talking about this, I had a black eye and scraps from some stunt I was doing, so Sly liked that. He's like, all right, this kid can take a hit. He likes doing this stuff. And then due to dates and them rewriting the script and taking the character out, that character wasn't in there. So I was kind of bummed, and then the third one came around, and it's a whole legion of young Expendables. Got to meet with Avi on Hercules, and he kept on pushing Expendables 3 and the meetings for Hercules, and I'm like, what about Hercules? You thinking about me for this one? He's like, yeah, but Expendables 3, we're thinking about doing this. So, from day one, I wanted to be a part of it. Huge action junkie, huge fan of Jason's and Sly and Arnie and all these guys. You got Blade in here. You got Zorro. I mean, for me, it was the characters. Growing up in the Midwest,
You got 3 vampires on this dais here. Think about it.
So it was a no-brainer.
3 separate movies. My God, you guys really suck. Really suck, for real.
Literally. Yeah. I met with Sly, and I went up to his house. We talked the character, and he gave me the stamp of approval. His daughters were Twilight fans, so that always helps.
Wesley, what were your negotiations like?
Say again?
What were your negotiations like with Sly for this?
Distant.
Yeah. Did he just call up and
Very
go,
easy.
be in the movie?
Very easy.
Very easy.
We told him how much he's getting, when is he coming, and so he said yes.
Pretty much.
And Jason, the same for you? And now it's the 3rd time around?
No, it's the one he called on his birthday, actually. No, I remember we sat down we had a lunch together, and he said, do you want to come to work? And I said, what's the role? And he said, no, I just need someone to make my sandwiches. My chef's died. And that was it.
Did you go for it?
Yes, please. 2nd row. Thank you.
It's a question for Sly and Wesley. You mentioned working together on Demolition Man. Was there at any point any talk of dyeing your hair blonde again to do the Simon Phoenix hairstyle?
Oh, yeah, I dare you to ask him to dye his hair blonde again.
He hinted at it, but I refused.
That was a lot of work, man. I thought, wow.
Yeah, I
It was a
remember
lot of work.
Yeah, that blonde hair. My hair fell out.
I know, literally his hair fell off.
Yeah.
And we had to
buy some more.
This
Buy
little
some more
blonde
hair.
divot every morning. It was great to hit balls off of. It was great.
There's a gentleman here in the 3rd row. We'll just get the mic to you.
Hi there, Duncan from Den of Geek. I just wanted to ask the panel, actually, because you've had a lot of great action in your careers, if you have like a favourite moment, be it a fight or a stunt scene or a car chase, that you're particularly proud of, one that really stands out from any film you've done.
Should we start with Kellan and work our way down?
Yeah.
Kellan, I'll start with you.
What was it? Just favorite scene?
Yeah, any kind of favourite action scene that you've done.
Honestly, being a part of this movie, that's to date, I've done only a few action movies. I love doing action movies, but the one that stands out is when all of us were in the helicopter. We have Sly running. I'm not going to give the end of the movie or anything, but just having everyone who I grew up watching in a helicopter together and just cracking jokes. Yeah, Victor Ortiz farting, it's and you're kind of locked in, harnessed in, so you can't fall out of the helicopter. So you're a bit imprisoned by the gas.
Interesting image. Antonio?
I don't know.
Something from Shrek. Come on.
Those stunts are tough, man. But no, and anything that has to do, I feel proud, anything that has to do with horses and sword fighting in Zorro. I put a lot of interest and time into those things, so I am proud of that, actually.
And Sly, you've got one or two.
I've been lucky. I've had so many interesting ones, like falling through trees in First Blood, doing the last third of the tree, getting wiped out. I'm really proud of. Matter of fact, I filmed it in slow motion because I didn't know if I was going to get murdered, killed on it. When in Rambo 3, there was no CGI, and one is we almost get hit by a helicopter, literally on horseback, and the second one's playing the Buzkazi game, where it's a real game where you play with the body of a dead sheep. It's a Afghan game, and that was done for real. But overall, I would say dealing with Dolph Lundgren and Rocky IV, that was brutal. I mean, really brutal. He was so unbelievably powerful. It's hard to describe him. I mean, he almost killed me. So, but the idea of having, in other words, you sustain, you say, an action beat. Hanging from, in Cliffhanger was absolutely amazing, because I hate heights, and it's 4,000 feet. You're going, how'd they talk me into this? Really? I don't like being in cowboy boots. Even that's too high. And I said, what am I doing here? But the idea of sustaining a 15-round fighting, that it took 6 months, so it's really one long stunt. That is what I'm proud of, because I know I could never even come close to doing that again today. So thanks, Dolph, for the injuries.
Jason?
I don't know. You do a lot of different things, riding jet skis, and I think one that sticks in my memory would possibly be having a fist fight outside a helicopter standing on the skids on a movie called Crank. I think that was quite adrenaline-fueled. It was a pretty scary moment because we actually took off from the top of a tall building, so there was no sort of an adjustment to sort of leaving the ground. You can sort of adjust and get used to it, but we took off a building that was already 2,000 feet in the air, so as you get on the edge, you get, a serious sort of rush. I think that one sticks in my mind. I'll never forget that day.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Wesley?
Yeah, I think I recall like one of the most memorable stunts was wearing 14-inch size 3-inch heels with John Leguizamo and Tuan Fu and running down the street.
That was pretty hairy.
It was rough, man. It took a lot. It took a lot.
It did take a lot of guts.
Yeah,
And,
that was a rough one.
I think Expendables 3 is the biggest action movie that I've done, and I've done many. It's really got everything there in this movie, from train, helicopter, boat, guns, you name it, it's in this movie, and you will see it in the movie.
Okay, there's a gentleman here in the fourth row. Thank you.
Hi guys, Matt Beadle, Zoo Magazine. You seem to have a lot of fun when you make these movies, and as you said, there's a great blend of personnel. What I'm interested to know is, how much does that bring a friendly rivalry / competitive edge between you when you're on set in terms of trying to outdo each other?
Well, I respect these guys greatly, and I'm also a fan of their work. So the opportunity to work with them and then find out not only are they real guys, but they have very wide, colorful personalities, and I can resonate with them. That's just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And I never played a real team sport, so this is about the closest I've gotten to being on a team.
It is like a team. It really is like a team sport. You're right. Everyone just has very, very healthy egos and athletic ability, and some are very, very good actors. And you're going to be competitive. Nobody wants to be the one sitting there looking like a piece of chewed string at the end of the scene. It's like, boy, did I get wiped out. So you do your best. So inviting these actors, like when I'm working with Harrison Ford, he's like minimalist, but and I'm thinking, oh God, I'm just eating him up on screen, and then I see the dailies. I go, "You were just swallowed, Sly." He's good. You know what I mean? They're very, very, very good, very good. So I appreciate them coming on board, and I think we have eons to go now. That I just see there's so many other actors that you can bring. Even Kelsey Grammer. Are you kidding me? Kelsey Grammer? Kelsey Grammer is amazing. And he's got an incredible range. So you could use him at the beginning of the plot of Expendables 4. Here, knocking on the door. Hey, Kelsey, what's up? Oh, let me explain to you what's going on. And then that's the beginning of another one. You just have so many opportunities now because it's not just athletic actors. There's an opportunity now for just real actors to do athletic things and make it just advance the project more and more and more.
Okay, we have time for one last question. So this gentleman in the front row. The mic is on its way, I promise you.
Hi, it's Mark Gandolfi from Film News. It's a question for Avi. What's it like working with such a talented array of actors, and who's the easiest to work with, and more importantly, who's the most difficult?
There's nobody easy to work with, of course. Nobody. But look...
Who's the most difficult?
Sylvester Stallone.
That's right. Harry, don't believe this. Harry Knowles is here, my great friend. He knows we work together on Spy Kids, and he knows I'm just a pushover, Harry. Don't believe it.
The key is the harmony, and that's what, with the help, and I mean it, on those slides, is one of the main actors in the movie, but he's also a director. He's also a writer. He serves the coffee to all every morning. He does the wardrobe and so on. But with the help of Sly and all these great actors, we have 7 franchise actors in this movie. 7. It's never happened before. So on one side it was a challenge, but on the other hand, I'm very happy.